Yo, tapping in real quick for this UFC fight night in Louisville. Cannonier versus Nassourdine Imavov. And this video right here is for my final thoughts, man. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Now, that first fight of the night, low-level women's MMA, I still highly suggest that everybody stay the fuck away. But for the sake of the video, I did a light little dive. So let's go ahead and talk about these two young women real quick. You understand what I'm saying to you? Rayanne versus Tomar. Rayanne currently sitting as a sizable favorite, I believe, minus 290 on the money line. And I don't understand why. For the life of me, I cannot wrap my motherfucking mind around it. You understand what I'm saying to you? I understand she's 14-7 compared to Tomar's 8-4, so she has a little bit more experience, but not. With that being said, that's not experience with a higher level of opposition. The level of opposition that these two young women have faced is exactly the same. I'll get into that in a second. You understand what I'm saying to you? With her 14-7, and Tomar's 8-4, she spent more time in the cage. It's not, she's got a little bit more experience in the cage, not more experience with a higher level of opposition or anything like that. You know what I mean? She's just had more fights against more cans than this young woman has. You feel what I'm saying to you? With all due respect, man, that's just a fucking fact. You know what I mean? 8 of her 14 wins come via submission. You know what I mean? Rayanne. 3 of Tomar's 4 losses come via submission. So I understand why Rayanne opened up as a favorite. I just don't understand why she opened up over minus 200 and now she's close to minus fucking 300. You understand what I'm saying to you? The level of opposition is fucking ridiculous, man. 14-7 up against opposition with combined records of 62 wins and 46 losses, man. 62 wins and 46 losses, man. Like, that's just not great. You was absolutely supposed to wrap every one of them young women to fuck up and get them up out of there. You understand what I'm saying to you? 62 wins and 46 losses, man. You can miss me with that. And she's already 0-1 inside the UFC. And she's already 0-1 on Dana White Contender Series. So why the fuck she even got into the UFC and why the fuck we're even talking about her kicking off a card is beyond me, but we are. Her highest level in opposition that she faced is when she came to the Contender Series and she fought a young woman who was 5-1. She did not pass that test. They still let her into the UFC. She fought a young woman who was 4-0. She did not pass that test. Those were the 2 best records she faced in that 14-7 run that consists of 62 wins and 46 losses. Miss me with any of that shit. Tomar, 8-4 against opposition with combined records of 30 wins and 15 losses. You understand what I'm saying to you? 30 wins and 15 losses, 62 wins and 46 losses, but she's got a little bit more fights. If she had a little bit more fights, it'd probably be the fucking same. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous and it's horrendous, man. The level of opposition is just fucking ridiculous. These women should be unfucking defeated, but they're not, and they're facing each other, and in no way, shape, form, or fashion does either one of them justify being that big of a favorite over the other. This is why I say, and I highly stress, stay the fuck away, or motherfuckers will be losing and screaming at their tickets and ripping them the fuck up the same way they was when they took Emily as a big favorite against Vanessa, and I was sitting right in here telling motherfuckers not to do it. And if you want to get spicy on a prelim parlay after this, that, and the third, toss Vanessa. Like, I obliterated the motherfucking prelims that night, man. You know what I mean? Don't be one of these motherfuckers who's mad as fuck because not only the first fight of the night fucked you up, but women's MMA fucked you up. Low-level women's MMA fucked you up. And low-level women's MMA that just, there's no fucking reason. There's no reasoning for the money line. There's no reasoning for the money line, man. You know what I mean? It's not even a striker versus a grappler or a wrestler. It's a striker versus a jiu-jitsu practitioner because Rayanne's wrestling and grappling is not even that fucking good to get the fight where she wants it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Hence the decision losses she has on her record because she wasn't able to get it where she wanted and she got teed the fuck off on, man. What I've seen from both these young women, man, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. It's shaky and it's fucking shiesty. And minus 290, almost minus 300, you gotta be out of your fucking mind. It's a dog or pass, man. And I highly suggest all y'all just pass. My bad, I took that long. Moving on. Cody versus Taylor. It's still Taylor for me, man. There's nothing nobody can do to convince me otherwise. This is Taylor. If we talking about a minus 290 money line and all that, that's what Taylor should have been over Cody, not fucking Rayanne over Tomar. You understand what I'm saying to you? I could justify Taylor at minus 290 more than I can motherfucking justify Rayanne at minus 290 because Taylor's got this fight absolutely everywhere it goes. To take down the fence is good enough to keep this motherfucker up where he wants it. And it's good enough that if he wanted to reverse something and put Cody down, you know what I mean, rack up his own takedown real quick, get back to the feet and do what he wanted to do, he could do that too, man. Like, Taylor is no fucking chump stop in any department, anywhere. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that 9-inch reach advantage that he possesses in this fight is going to be ridiculous, man. Cody's not going to be able to get anything going on his feet, man. He's not going to be able to get anything going in the striking department. He's not going to be able to get anything going in the wrestling or the grappling department enough to secure a decision. I'm not saying he's not going to succeed in maybe securing and locking up 1 or 2 takedowns over the course of 15 minutes, but it's not going to be enough to get the job done against Taylor. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's Taylor, man. Eduarda versus motherfucking Denise, man. I know I looked at this one too, man, because, you know, it was one of the ones that I wasn't really fucking with, man. But we can talk about it. You know, it's women's MMA, 3rd fight of the night. I highly suggest just leaving this one the fuck alone too. You feel me? Eduarda, I get it. I understand why she's the favorite. She's 10-0. She got an O next to her name. You know what I mean? She got a 3-inch reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage and 4-inch height advantage. You feel what I'm saying to you? And you know, Denise is 8-3. You know what I'm saying? She's at a 3-inch height disadvantage and a 4-inch reach disadvantage. You feel what I'm saying to you? So I get it. I get Eduarda opening up as the favorite. You know what I mean? I still don't think it should be over minus 150. It should be like around minus 142, 146, maybe 148, but it's sitting up like around minus 170, 180 right now. I've seen it as high as 190. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, let's talk about it. She's 10-0, and that 10-0 run is against opposition with combined records of 38 wins and 24 losses. Just not great. She should be 10-0 in my personal opinion. She should have gotten every last one of them young women to fuck up out of there. She's 1-0 in the UFC so far, and she's 1-0 on the Contender Series. You understand what I'm saying to you? And with that being said, the highest level of opposition that she faced in her career was on the Contender Series when she fought a woman who was 5-0, and she passed that test. She came into the UFC, fought a young woman who was 10-3, and she passed that test. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I get it. I understand it, man. Denise, she's 8-3. Against opposition with combined records of 77 wins and 34 losses. You understand what I'm saying to you? So she's been up against it a little bit more. A little bit more. The level of opposition she's faced has been slightly better. You understand what I'm saying to you? Especially when we take into consideration the couple opponents that she lost to inside the UFC. Those individuals are definitely a higher level of opposition than Eduarda has ever faced, in my personal opinion. Anyway, Denise, 8-3 against opposition with 77 wins and 34 losses. She is 2-2 inside the UFC and 1-0 on the Contender Series. You understand what I'm saying to you? So she passed the test on the Contender Series. She came into the UFC and she's 2-2. Those 2 losses, though, Loma Luke Bume and Angela Hill. And I'm not mad at her for them, man. I'm keeping it funky with you. I am not. And this is Angela Hill last year, 2023. You understand what I'm saying to you? So this is the Angela Hill I've been talking about. You know what I mean? This is that new version of Angela Hill that we've been getting over the last 2-3 years. You feel what I'm saying to you? It's been putting it together and coming out on top inside that octagon. I'm not mad at her for losing to Angela Hill last year. You understand what I'm saying to you? And when Loma Luke Bume, when she shows up, she can prove to be a problem. She can prove to be a test for anybody in that division. So I'm really not mad at her for that. You know what I mean? With all that being said, I understand why Eduarda is the favorite, but Denise has faced a higher level of opposition when Eduarda has had to step up and face higher levels of opposition the 2 times prior to this. You know what I mean? She passed the test, so I'm not saying she's not going to pass the test and she's not going to win. I'm just saying, you know, it's question marks, man, and I'm leaving it the fuck alone. John versus Daniel. You know what I mean? Let's talk about John versus Daniel. This is, you know, this is one where I can go, I can accept, because I myself have juggled it, you know what I mean? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So with that being said, everybody knows when it comes to this fight, when it comes to my parlays, I've covered my back door and gone both ways. You feel what I'm saying to you? We'll talk about that in the parlay video. But, I mean, I like John, man. I can't get around the fact that I think the volume and the finishing ability is going to be on John's side. You know what I mean? Do I feel like Daniel is going to come out there and be the more technically sound all the way around individual between the two in this fight? I do. He's going to be the more technical practitioner. You understand what I'm saying to you? maybe with a little bit more pop on each and every individual shot. You know what I mean? John is dangerous though. The volume's gonna be there, and you know, he can clip Danny, club him and sub him, possibly clip him and flatline him. You know what I'm saying? It has not happened yet. He can definitely, you know, if he gets him to the ground, work for a submission. We cannot, you know, we can't just keep looking past, we can't look past that Miles John win, man. You know, when John shows up and he's on his game, he's capable of, you know, causing anybody problems in the division. Dogs is going on here, huh? I'm telling y'all, dog might bark in this fight. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I can completely understand why motherfuckers is rocking with Daniel to keep the O next to his name, to improve to 16-0 and move forward and not really face no have no problems until he faces a higher level of opposition than John, man. You know what I mean? But I do believe John is going to be his toughest test as of yet, and I can see Daniel winning a split decision. You know, John's going to try to go out on his motherfucking shield to get this one, so I could see Daniel securing something inside the distance too, man. Anything could happen. Anything could happen, man. You know what I mean? That's why I'm, you know, covering my back door on this one when it comes to prelim parlays and all that. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, man. I like both of these motherfuckers in this fight, man. I'm still giving the edge. I'm still rocking with John. I'm not changing my pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to cover my back door with Daniel, but I'm not going to change my pick. I'm still rocking with John because I'm confident he could get the job done if he shows up and he's on point. You understand what I'm saying to you? Andrea versus Montana. Another low-level women's MMA. But let's talk about it, man. Andrea, she's 13-9. And this is the second go-around for them, you know what I mean? But she's 13-9 against opposition with combined records of 182 wins and 83 losses. You know what I'm saying? She's 6 years older than Montana, but she was 6 years older than Montana when they fought the first time. I know this ain't then, this is now. So maybe the age could play a factor. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? She got an 1.5 inch reach advantage. She's 5-7 inside the UFC and 1-4 in her last 5 fights, man. You know what I mean? Montana's 12-9-1. Her run not as respectable as Andrea's 13-9. Montana's 12-9-1 is against opposition with combined records of 111 wins and 53 losses. She is 3-5 inside the UFC and 0-1 against Andrea Lee as of late. You know what I mean? So leave this one alone, man. It's the second go around for low-level women's MMA, man. You know, it's years. You know, it's years later. One of them 6 years older. It's very possible Montana comes in here and secures the victory in this one, and these ladies are 1-1. So I'd leave this one alone, man. Brad versus Jesse. Let's go ahead and talk about this one, man, because I couldn't understand Brad being a -620 on the money line. I'm still not betting or parlaying this fight. You feel what I'm saying to you? But I had to take a light little dive and figure out why this motherfucker was so wide on the money line. You know what I'm saying? But Brad, he's 13-3, up against opposition with combined records of 110 wins, 29 losses, man. It's respectable. Can't say nothing bad about that. 0-2 in his first UFC run. You feel what I'm saying? But with that being said, respectable losses. Rob Dwashvili and them, like the individuals he lost to inside the UFC, most people do. You know what I mean? 1-0 on a contender series. You know what I'm saying? Right? No? Right? Boom, boom. No, he didn't do the contender series. I was looking above real quick. So 0-2 in his first run, 1-1 in his current run. You understand what I'm saying to you? And all of his losses inside the UFC, they respectable, man. You can't really be mad at him about that. And his 13-3 run, 110 wins, 29 losses. It's a respectable 13-3 run. Can't say nothing bad about that. Now, on the other side of things, kid Jesse, 12-5. I understand he's got a crazy reach advantage. You know what I mean? Maybe something stupid like how Taylor does with 9 inches. But I don't necessarily feel like that's going to mean much, if absolutely anything, in his fight. 12-5 against opposition with combined records of 149 wins and 130 losses. I'll say that again. 149 wins and 130 losses, man. Ew. Ew. And he's currently 0-1 inside the UFC. I think it was Jim. You know what I mean? It might have been Jim Miller. They got him the fuck up out of there. But yeah, 12-5 against opposition with combined records of 149 wins and 130 losses. Ew. That is just ew. And he's already 0-1 inside the UFC, man. I still just don't want anything to do with this fight. You feel me? Moving on. We have Charlie versus Los, man. And it's still Charlie for me, man. It's still Charlie for me to go ahead and wrap this one up inside the distance via submission, ground and pound, or by just putting this man in enough compromisable positions, racking up enough control time, and getting it done via unanimous decision, man. If we being honest with each other, you feel me, the nightmare that is Carlos, you feel me, Los is a nightmare. He got pop in his shots. He got some pop in his shots, and he can be very fucking dangerous, man. But if we are being honest with each other, he was losing that fight to Trevin Giles, man. The judges on the cards had him losing the fight. I personally had him losing the fight as I was watching it, you know what I mean? All the way until he wasn't. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I do not believe Chuck Buffalo will give him the opportunity that Trevin Giles did to clip him and get him the fuck up out of there. You understand what I'm saying to you? I feel like Charlie is going to do the better work over the course of 15 minutes. He's going to be a better version of what Trevin Giles was trying to be in there. And he's not going to leave no opportunities for the nightmare to be a nightmare. You understand what I'm saying to you? So Charlie's the pick as a dog, man. Thiago versus Ludovic. You know what I mean? This is another one. I get it, man. I completely get it. I'm still rocking with Ludovic, man. On the feet, will it be competitive? Yeah, it'll be competitive at times, but Ludovic's gonna shine, man. He's gonna outwork him. He's gonna outvalue him. You understand what I'm saying to you? He might catch him and drop him. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna put in the better work over the course of 15 minutes on the feet and the takedown defense. Again, like I said about Taylor and old boy Cody or whatever down earlier on the card, man. The takedown defense will be enough to keep it up where he needs it to be. You understand what I'm saying to you? He might get taken down once. He might get taken down twice. You understand what I'm saying to you? I believe he'll stay safe and get back to his feet and get back to work. You understand what I'm saying to you? So Ludovic, for me, is still the pick. But this is another one. I get it, so I will be covering my back door. You know what I'm saying? The pick is Ludovic, though, man. I really think he gets it done by unanimous decision. I don't think he gets put in enough compromisable positions by Thiago Moises for Moises to secure a decision. I don't think he's going to allow himself to be put in compromisable positions for Moises to secure a submission, because if he ends up in a compromisable position just once, that could very well be it. And he knows that. That's why his takedown defense is so good. And Thiago Moises is another one whose wrestling and grappling isn't great. 43 or 44% takedown accuracy going against the 83% takedown defense, Ludovic. And I like it, man. I like it. Punahele versus Miguel. This is another one, man. I like the dog in Punahele. You get this one done. We can talk about it. Miguel, 10-3 against opposition with combined records of 117 wins and 46 losses. He got a 2-inch reach advantage in his fight. He's 3-3 inside the UFC and 1-0 on the Contender Series. You understand what I'm saying to you? I don't like his losses, man. He doesn't have very respectable wins, and I don't like his losses. You know what I'm saying? Punahele, 9-4, up against opposition with combined records of 111 wins and 26 losses. So the opposition he faced has been slightly better, you know what I mean? Not by a whole lot or a landslide, but just a little bit better, you know what I mean? He's 3-4 inside the UFC, 1-0 on the Contender Series, you know what I mean? And be honest with you, there's a couple of his losses I do not like either, you know what I mean? One of the other individuals is fighting later on the card against Bruno, was able to secure a decision, or was able to secure a victory against him, if I'm not mistaken, Dustin Stolfus. So I don't respect that loss, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at the loss to Brendan Allen, you feel what I'm saying to you? With that being said, the body of work that he produces inside the octagon, what I've seen from him and what I've seen from Miguel, I'm giving the edge to Punahele to go ahead and get this one done inside the distance or by a unanimous decision, man. He can knock this young man out or submit him, in my personal opinion, or just edge him out on the cards in every single round. Julian versus Zach, man. This is another one I wanted nothing to do with. You feel what I'm saying too? But we can talk about it for the sake of the video. Julian's 9-4 up against opposition with combined record of 116 wins and 51 losses, man. You know what I mean? He's 3-3 inside the UFC and 1-0 on the Contender Series. And that win on the Contender Series, that's a respectable win, the way he had kicked and knocked out Phil Hawes like that, man. It shows you he got a little bit of dog in him. You know what I mean? Got a little bit of dog in him. Maybe not a whole lot, but he got a little bit. You feel what I'm saying to you? Now, Zach's 6-1. Up against opposition with combined records of 27 wins and 19 losses, man. So he just really ain't been up against no great levels of opposition at all whatsoever as of yet. He got a 6-inch reach advantage and a 2-inch height advantage, and he is 4 years younger. He's 0-1 inside the UFC and 1-0 on the Contender Series. 1-0 was against a 6-0 individual, and he passed that test. In the UFC, his debut was against Cody Brundage, and he failed that test. You understand what I'm saying to you? And everybody knows how I feel about Cody. If you don't know how I feel about Cody, I don't respect that loss too much. You understand? And I would give the edge to Julian to go ahead and get this one done. He is faced by far the higher level of opposition, and the individuals on his resume are way more respectable, man. So I would rock with Julian. I mean, I'm not fucking with this fight, but I would rock with Julian. Bruno versus Dustin, I'm still rocking with Bruno, man. I don't think Dustin's getting Bruno down the way he got Punahele down. I just don't think Dustin's going to be able to get his wrestling off the way he needs to get it off to possibly sink in and secure a submission or to secure a decision by putting him in enough compromisable positions over the course of 15 minutes, man. I think Bruno's going to flatline this young man inside of 7 minutes. Like I said, that's if he lasts, you know, further than the first 3 to 5 minutes, man. Bruno's dangerous. He got popping his shots, and Dustin's nobody's special, man. You know what I mean? Raul Roses versus Ricky. I still got Raul Roses, man. I still, like I said, I feel the same way. The UFC is using Raul Roses Jr. to go ahead and wrap Ricky Torsos up and take the fucking trash out, man. Boy doesn't belong in the UFC, man. And they're using Raul Roses to put him one step closer to the door, if not both feet the fuck out. Dustin versus Dom, I still do not see a night where Dom wins this fight, man. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, man. I don't see a night where he wins this fight, man. He's not going to outpoint, outstrike, or outvolume strikes, significant strikes, or, you know, anything like that when it comes to Dustin Jacoby. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. In my personal opinion, it's not. He would have to knock Dustin Jacoby the fuck out to win this fight, or he would have to drag Dustin Jacoby out for 15 fucking minutes, just rinsing, repeating his takedowns and top control and shit like that. And I believe Dustin has good enough takedown defense to keep this one on the feet, because I do believe Dom will be shooting. You understand what I'm saying to you? He will be shooting. It's wrestling all in his family. You understand what I'm saying to you? So he will be shooting, because he will not like how it is going on the feet. You know what I mean? So I like Dustin. And I like him at -230. -230 is all right with me. Anything past 250, you know what I mean? For Dustin Jacoby, I just wouldn't really like to see it. But I'm all right with the -230 that he's sitting at right now against Dominic Reyes. Because like I said before, man, nothing about Dominic Reyes, just, you know, nothing about that man impresses me, man. You know what I mean? He does have a win over Jared Cannonier way back when. That's a good win to have on your record. You know what I mean? Because Jared Cannonier's that, you know, that's my guy, man. Now, with that being said, you put him in there with Jared Cannonier right now, Jared Cannonier gonna fuck that man up. You know what I'm saying? But this was back when Dom was coming in, and my personal opinion, Jared wasn't in his prime yet. You know what I mean? But so he does have that win on his record. But the Volkan Ozdemir and the Chris Weidman, you know what I mean, and shit like that, you can miss me with that. And the fight he had with motherfucking John Jones, you can miss me with that as well. You know what I'm saying? This is Dustin's fight to lose, you know what I mean? Is there a possibility that he could fumble the fucking bag and lose this fight? Yeah, that's why it's not locked up in my main parlays, man. You know what I'm saying? But it will be in some. Moving on to the main event, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the fuck up out of here, man, before this 30-minute mark come. My bad, y'all. It's Jared versus Nassourdine, man. And I'm still rocking with Jared Cannonier, man. There's nobody that's gonna convince me otherwise until Saturday night comes and motherfucking that fight happens. Like Nassourdine Imavov would have to go in that octagon, show up, show out, completely just show off, and dominate this young man. You know what I mean? Who is Jared Cannonier, the killer gorilla? You understand what I'm saying to you? Who is still in his prime, man. And I understand Nassourdine Imavov at 28 is entering his prime. But I'm trying to get y'all to understand that Jared Cannonier at 40 years old has not exited his prime. You understand what I'm saying to you? And come on, man. Nassourdine Imavov, though. Come on, man. Let's talk about this man's wins. I mean, there's not very many of them that are impressive. His biggest win, you hear that dog barking, man? That's for Jared Cannonier. His biggest win, Nassourdine Imavov in the UFC as of right now is, I believe it's over Joaquin Buckley, man. You know what I mean? I believe it's over Joaquin Buckley. That's his biggest win. You can miss me with that, man. You know what I mean? And I know, you know, that's on paper and this, that, and the third. And one thing don't have anything to do with the other, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, come on, man. Like the Ian Heinishes and Edmund Shabazz, like these motherfuckers, beating these motherfuckers is not impressive, man. It is not impressive. You know what I'm saying? Your biggest win is over Joaquin Buckley. And as of late, you know, that's proven to be a good win, you know what I mean? A decent win, but that's your best fucking win, man. You know what I mean? Jared Cannonier's resume, the level of opposition he's been up against, that he's faced, that level of opposition that he's been able to put the fuck away, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when Imavov stepped up, he lost. You feel me? He lost to Sean. When Jared Cannonier fought Sean, he won. And I don't give a fuck if it was a split decision, a majority decision, or what kind of decision it was. He fucking won. Imavov didn't. You know what I mean? And yes, he dogged Marvin Vettori. And yes, I don't know that Imavov will be able to beat Marvin Vettori. You know what I mean? Robert Whittaker. Imavov is not fucking with Robert Whittaker, in my personal opinion. Israel Adesanya. Like, this is the only person in the last 5 fights that Jared Cannonier lost to is Israel Adesanya. Calvin Gastelum is a little gat. Always been a little gat, you know what I'm saying? And he's only gotten better in his older age. You feel what I'm saying to you? And then the Marvin Vettori and the Sean Strickland. And then just go look at the rest of his fucking resume. It's without a doubt that Jared Cannonier has been up against and put away the higher level of opposition, and the resume is far more impressive on his side of things than on the Imavov side of things. Please just go back and look at Imavov's wins, man, and tell me why y'all are so high on this young man to beat Jared Cannonier, man. Jordan Williams, Ian Heinisch, Joaquin Buckley being his biggest win. Come on, man. Come on, man. Everybody was telling me, oh, Jonathan Martinez is going to kick Jose Aldo. I was all in the comments on me when I was, my most confident pick on the card was Jose Aldo. Oh, this is going to happen and that. Like, I mean, but you know what I'm saying? It didn't. It didn't. He beat him like I said he would. 3 rounds to 1. All the way across the fucking board. And like I said before, I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Cannonier beat this man 3 rounds to 2, 4 rounds to 1. Or inside the distance, because that young man can get it done, man. That's it, man. That's it. Real quick, why I'm so back and forth on Daniel and John fight, man. You know what I mean? Daniel 15-0. It's a respectable 15-0 run. You know what I mean? Decent 15-0 run against opposition with combined records of 125 wins and 41 losses. 2-0 inside the UFC, 1-0 on the Contender Series. You know what I'm saying? John 21-6 against opposition with combined records of 301 wins and 174 losses. You understand what I'm saying to you? He's 4-2 inside the UFC, and his losses being in Nathaniel Wood and the Bull Santos. And if we being honest with each other, I'm not mad at him for them fucking losses. You understand what I'm saying to you? Can't nobody talk shit to that young man about them losses, man. You know what I'm saying? He's 1 year older than Daniel, but he has a 3-inch reach advantage. You feel what I'm saying to you? And he's very fucking dangerous. The experience level is on his side, and the experience of fighting individuals at a higher level of opposition are on his side. And he's got a good, not just a good win with Miles Johns, but he's got a couple decent wins on his record, man. You know what I mean? So it's why I'm just so on the fence and back and forth with that motherfucking fight. You feel what I'm saying to you? But with that being said, we just crossed 30. Damn, I did y'all 30 in this motherfucker, man. Skip that first fight, man. I told y'all why it's a dog or pass for me. I'm rocking with Taylor. Skip that that third fight, Eduardo versus Denise, man. I don't want anything to do with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand why Eduardo's the favorite, but leave it alone, man. John versus Daniel. It's one that I gotta cover my back door on. My pick is still John, but I can understand motherfuckers siding with Daniel, and you know, I get it, man. You know what I mean? Andrea versus Montana. Leave it alone. This is their second go around, and I, broke that down for y'all. Brad versus Jesse. I get it. Everybody rocking with Brad, but just go ahead and find yourself a way to chop that money line down, because that money line's out of fucking control, man. Charlie versus Los. I'm rocking with Charlie as a dog. Tiago versus Ludovic. I'm rocking with Ludovic to get it done, but I understand Tiago, so I will cover my back door. Miguel versus Punahele. I'm rocking with Punahele as a dog. Julian versus Zach. I'll take Julian in that. Bruno versus Dustin. I'm taking Bruno to go ahead and dust him off. Rosas versus Ricky, it's Rosas. Dustin versus Dom, it's Dustin. And Jared versus motherfucking Imavov, man, it's Jared. All motherfucking day long, man. Go ahead and get that one done. 4 rounds to 1, if not inside the motherfucking distance. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's that with that, man. Anything after this is just parlays, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in.